My beloved child, listen closely, because what you're about to hear will make you question everything you thought you knew. There is a truth hiding in plain sight, a truth sealed behind quiet smiles, whispered promises, and a betrayal so precise that even your heart didn't sense it coming. Your ex didn't just walk away, they walked away with a secret. Archangel Michael stands with you in this moment, guiding you to hear every word without missing a breath, because what unfolds next will finally make the pieces click together in your mind. And once you understand, everything will change. You remember the silence after they left, don't you? That strange calm that felt too heavy, too rehearsed, too unnatural. People said it was just heartbreak, just timing, just life, but no. Behind your back, a family stepped in. A family who pretended to support you. A family who smiled at you as if nothing was wrong while quietly sheltering your ex, pushing them, advising them, shaping every decision they made. While you slept, they were plotting. While you trusted, they were coordinating. They didn't want you to discover the role they played, because the moment you see their involvement, everything they built will collapse. Archangel Michael whispers, "Stay with me, child, the truth is rising." But here's the part no one ever told you, your ex couldn't have done what they did alone. Every shift in their behavior, every sudden distance, every unexplained coldness, none of it was accidental. The family that helped them had their own motive, a quiet ambition hidden beneath polite faces. They saw something in you, your strength, your potential, your rising light, and instead of celebrating it, they feared it. They feared the impact you were destined to have. They feared losing influence over your ex. And so they stepped into the shadows and pulled strings where you couldn't see, creating a path meant to break you, not because you were weak but because you were becoming powerful. And here is the twist that will stop your heart for a moment. Your ex didn't realize the full extent of what was happening. They were guided, pushed, emotionally shaped into decisions that didn't entirely belong to them. The family convinced them that leaving you was necessary, beneficial, even safe. They crafted a narrative that painted you as the obstacle, when in truth, you were the blessing they could never replace. Archangel Michael places a hand over your spirit and says, "You were not abandoned, you were redirected away from a circle that never deserved you." The family thought they won something by interfering, but all they did was expose themselves to a future they can no longer control. Now breathe, because the final revelation is the one you've been sensing but could never fully speak. Everything done behind your back is about to come to light. Not by confrontation, not by chaos, but by divine timing. People who hid details will begin slipping. Conversations meant to stay secret will surface. The family who once felt confident in their manipulation will start feeling the weight of what they did. And your ex. They will face the truth of how deeply you cared and how deeply they were influenced. Archangel Michael stands before you now, not to show you what you lost, but to show you what you escaped. The betrayal wasn't your ending, it was your protection in disguise. And the truth that once felt buried is rising to meet you, step by step, second by second, until nothing can hide anymore. My beloved child, take a slow breath. Because what comes next will pull the curtain even further, revealing layers of truth that were never meant to reach your ears. Archangel Michael watches over this moment, guiding your heart to stay steady, because the next part of this story isn't just shocking, it's the exact explanation your soul has been waiting for. You felt something was off long before you had proof. The late responses, the sudden distance, the strange tension around certain people, none of it was random. It was the echo of a plan unfolding behind you, crafted quietly by a family who pretended to care while moving pieces for their own advantage. Here is what they didn't expect: the universe kept every detail recorded. Every hidden conversation. Every whispered warning. Every moment they pushed your ex farther from you and closer to them. They thought they were invisible, untouchable, protected by their tight circle, but truth has its own patience. Archangel Michael says, "Child, what is hidden cannot stay hidden when your spirit is chosen for clarity. And you? You are stepping into that clarity now. Because the family that helped your ex didn't do it out of love, they did it out of fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of watching your ex grow stronger because of you. Fear of your influence, your compassion, your ability to inspire change just by being present. But here is the part that will make you go still for a moment. Their interference shaped more than just the breakup. They controlled the narrative. They gave your ex reasons, excuses, stories designed to twist your image into something unrecognizable. And your ex, confused and emotionally cornered, started believing pieces of that narrative. Not because it was true, but because they were surrounded by voices that never let them think for themselves. Archangel Michael whispers, "You weren't rejected. You were removed from a place that could not honor your heart." That shift wasn't punishment. It was protection. Now look closely, because the family's confidence is beginning to crack. Small moments are exposing the trail they tried to cover. Unexpected slips. Uncomfortable reactions. People accidentally mentioning things they were supposed to keep quiet. The truth is leaking, not in chaos, but in divine order. And your ex. They are starting to revisit the past in silence, realizing that the person who loved them the most was the one they were steered away from. That realization is hitting them in moments when no one is watching, late at night, early mornings, quiet moments when truth becomes harder to ignore. Archangel Michael stands by your side and says, "Your story is shifting, child, and what once felt like heartbreak is becoming revelation." And here is the final layer: your rise is only beginning. Everything done behind your back is circling back toward light, and those who once felt certain in their decisions are feeling the weight of what they created. You are not meant to chase the truth is being delivered to you. The universe is aligning circumstances, conversations, encounters, each one designed to reveal what was kept from you. The very family that once interfered will face a moment where their actions speak louder than their intentions. And you? You will stand in a place of strength, guided by Archangel Michael, not broken by the past but elevated by clarity. The storm wasn't meant to destroy you, it was meant to clear the path for everything you truly deserve. My beloved child, stay close to these words, because what unfolds now is the part that was always kept the farthest from you. Archangel Michael surrounds you with calm strength as this final veil lifts. The truth you're stepping into isn't just information. It's the missing key that explains the weight you carried without knowing why. People thought you would never discover what truly happened, but destiny has a way of placing every hidden piece back into your hands. And now, the next piece is turning toward you, ready to be revealed with crystal clarity. Here is the moment everything begins to make sense. The family that stood behind your ex didn't just offer support, they orchestrated an entire emotional shift. They quietly encouraged distance, exaggerated misunderstandings, and magnified small conflicts until they became reasons to walk away. They acted like advisors, but they behaved like architects of separation. Their influence seeped into every decision your ex made, shaping actions that didn't come from the heart but from pressure. And Archangel Michael says softly, "Child, you were never the problem. Your light simply intimidated those who relied on shadows." But the universe has a strange way of balancing stories. The very family that pushed your ex away from you began noticing something unexpected. Even after everything, your ex's heart still carried traces of you. Certain habits, certain preferences, certain reflections, they all led back to you. That realization made the family uneasy, because they feared that the truth would eventually surface and expose how deeply they interfered. They knew that once your ex saw the manipulation clearly, the entire foundation of their decisions would collapse. Archangel Michael stands firm and whispers, "Truth always returns, no matter who tries to bury it." Here comes the part that changes everything. Your ex has started questioning the past. Not openly, not verbally, but quietly, internally. They replay moments. They reconsider conversations. They sense inconsistencies in the things they were told. Their mind is slowly realizing that the separation didn't feel natural, because it never was. The family's influence, once strong, is beginning to fade as your ex steps into their own clarity. They are noticing how much peace existed when you were present, compared to the emotional weight they carry now. Archangel Michael places a shield of light around you and says, "You will not be pulled backward, only the truth will move toward you." And now, the most powerful shift of all. Those who acted against you are being confronted by their own choices, not through conflict, but through consequences. People around them are starting to see inconsistencies. Their stories no longer align perfectly. Their confidence has weakened. And slowly, the truth they tried to hide is rising into the open, piece by piece, moment by moment. What they once controlled is slipping from their grasp. And you, standing under the protection of Archangel Michael, are rising into a new chapter where clarity replaces confusion, strength replaces doubt, and peace replaces every unanswered question. The truth is no longer far, it's walking directly toward you, ready to set your spirit free. My beloved child, lean in gently now, because what comes next is the part they prayed you would never uncover. Archangel Michael moves closer, steady and calm, for this is the chapter where hidden intentions begin to expose themselves through the smallest cracks. You are stepping into a depth of truth that was never spoken aloud but always existed underneath quiet gestures and carefully chosen words. What you're about to hear isn't just revelation, it's the emotional core of why everything happened the way it did. The family that supported your ex didn't simply interfere. They carried a quiet resentment toward the connection you two shared. They saw the way your presence empowered your ex, the way your love brought out independence, confidence, and growth. That scared them more than anything. Because as your ex grew stronger beside you, the family felt their influence slipping. They feared losing control, losing relevance, losing the grip they had always maintained. So instead of celebrating the relationship, they whispered doubts. They magnified fears. They planted seeds of insecurity until your ex began questioning things that were never problems to begin with. Archangel Michael whispers, "Child, your love awakened strength in someone who wasn't allowed to be strong." But here is the unexpected twist: they didn't realize you had sensed the shift long before anything was revealed. You felt the emotional distance. You sensed conversations happening without your name being mentioned but still somehow being about you. You noticed the tension, the hesitation, the confusion in your ex's eyes. All of it was a signal, a quiet call from the universe telling you something deeper was happening. And now, step by step, that deeper truth is rising to the surface. The family's intentions weren't rooted in hatred, they were rooted in fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of change. Fear of watching someone they relied on move into a life where they were no longer the center. And here is where the story shifts. Your ex has begun to see the patterns. They're realizing how certain decisions were pushed, how opinions were shaped, how emotions were influenced. They notice how the family reacted whenever you brought joy or growth into their life. They see now that the guidance they received wasn't neutral, it was strategic. And this realization has started unsettling their heart, creating an inner conflict between what they were told and what they genuinely felt for you. Archangel Michael gently places clarity over your path, reminding you, truth always awakens at the right time, never too early, never too late. Now watch closely, because the family is beginning to sense that their influence is weakening. Their controlled narrative is losing power. People around them are noticing the inconsistencies. Conversations are emerging that they never expected to resurface. Their certainty is fading because, for the first time, the truth is slipping through the cracks they cannot seal. And you, standing in strength and stillness, are no longer the outsider in this story, you are the one rising above the web they once crafted behind your back. And finally, understand this: everything meant to harm your heart has transformed into a path of clarity. The truth is no longer hiding. The universe is aligning moments to reveal what was done, not to hurt you, but to free you. Under the protection of Archangel Michael, you are stepping into a future where confusion dissolves, where hidden intentions are exposed, and where your spirit finally understands why certain people had to fall away. What was taken from you is returning, not as pain, but as power. My beloved child, stay with these words just a little longer. Because now you are entering the part of the story that was guarded the most tightly. Archangel Michael stands beside you as this final layer of truth unfolds, steady, calm, protective, because what you're about to hear carries the weight of everything they tried to hide. This is the moment where motives become clear, intentions reveal themselves, and every silent question in your heart finally finds its answer. The family that supported your ex didn't just influence them. They studied your connection. They watched the way your presence brought peace into the chaos, how your energy softened their fears, how your guidance made them stronger. Instead of being grateful for the transformation, they felt threatened by it. They believed that as long as you remained close, your ex would drift away from their control. So they made subtle moves, small comments, gentle suggestions, quiet warnings, that slowly bent your ex's emotions in the direction they wanted. They disguised manipulation as concern. They shaped distance as, for your own good. And every step was calculated, not out of malice, but out of fear of losing the influence they had always depended on. But here is where everything turns. Your ex has begun feeling the weight of those decisions. They are recognizing moments that never truly belonged to them. They replay conversations where their family pushed too strongly. They remember times when their feelings for you were real, warm, unwavering, and yet they walked away anyway. That contradiction is starting to shake them. The truth is rising inside them at the quietest times, late at night, early in the morning, or during moments when their mind wanders back to you without permission. Archangel Michael whispers, "Clarity is unfolding inside them, child, and they are seeing the difference between guidance and control." And now, something the family never anticipated is happening. Their narrative is loosening. People who once believed their version of events are beginning to question details. Patterns they tried to hide are becoming visible. Moments they dismissed as harmless are now returning with new meaning. Even the family itself feels the shift. Their confidence is thinner, their reactions sharper, their silence heavier. They sense the truth approaching, and they know they can no longer keep the past sealed. The foundation they built was never strong, it only looked stable from the outside. Look closely at what this means for you. You have risen above the story they wrote for you. You have stepped out of the fog they created, and instead of breaking, you have grown. You didn't chase answers, answers are finding you. You didn't seek validation. The universe is aligning situations to reveal everything in its own timing. Archangel Michael stands behind you with a shield of light, reminding you, nothing done in shadows can block the path meant for your spirit. And finally, the moment that changes everything is near. Your ex will confront the truth, not through conflict, but through realization. The family will face the consequences, not through chaos, but through exposure. And you will step forward, not as someone wounded by hidden actions, but as someone strengthened by divine clarity. The betrayal they hoped would break you has become the key awakening your true direction. The truth they tried to bury is rising like sunlight, steady, undeniable, unstoppable. My beloved child, come closer to these words, because now you're entering the deepest part of the truth, the part they hoped time would erase. Archangel Michael stands firmly beside you as this final curtain lifts. What you are about to hear isn't just revelation, it is the emotional core of everything that unfolded behind your back. This is the moment where hidden motives, quiet decisions, and whispered influences finally form a complete picture, one that was kept far from you for reasons that had nothing to do with your worth. The family that stepped in for your ex didn't do it suddenly. Their involvement began long before you ever realized. They observed your strength, your kindness, your impact, and they recognized something that frightened them. With you, your ex was evolving. They were gaining independence, confidence, and emotional clarity. And for a family used to being the center of every decision, this shift felt like a threat. Instead of embracing growth, they wanted familiarity. Instead of encouraging progress, they held on to control. So they quietly began nurturing doubts, painting small misunderstandings as major concerns, and gradually redirecting your ex away from your influence. Archangel Michael leans close and whispers, "Your light was never the issue, your light was the freedom they feared." But here's where everything turns unexpectedly. Your ex didn't fully realize how deeply they were being guided. They believed they were making independent choices, unaware of the emotional pressure shaping their path. They trusted the voices around them, not realizing those voices were clouding their clarity. And now, slowly, those old decisions no longer sit easily in their heart. They sense the gap between what they were told and what they truly felt. They remember moments with you that felt peaceful, steady, genuine, moments that don't align with the narrative they accepted. This quiet conflict is growing inside them, pushing them to look back with new eyes. Archangel Michael stands behind you, reminding you, understanding arrives when the heart is finally ready to see. Meanwhile, the family that once felt confident in their influence is beginning to feel the shift. They expected the past to stay buried, but small signs are resurfacing. People they trusted are recalling conversations. Opinions they shaped are being questioned. The certainty they once relied on is fading. Even their silence feels heavier now. As if they know that truth has started moving on its own. Their version of events no longer fits perfectly. And they sense, perhaps for the first time, that what they tried to control may soon come forward without their permission. And now look at where you stand. You have grown beyond the story they wrote in your absence. You no longer seek answers from the past is revealing itself to you naturally, piece by piece. You are rising with clarity instead of confusion, strength instead of doubt. The universe isn't asking you to revisit pain, it's showing you how protected you were even when you didn't realize it. Archangel Michael surrounds you with reassurance. Your spirit was never unworthy, your spirit was being shielded. And finally, the truth is aligning itself toward you. Not through confrontation, not through conflict, but through divine timing. Your ex will face realizations that reshape their understanding of the past. The family will be confronted by their own actions through the natural unfolding of events. And you will move forward with a calm strength that comes from knowing the full picture at last. What happened behind your back did not break your destiny, it opened the door to the clarity, peace, and direction meant for your future.